Hello everybody, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. As you can see, we have had cucumber babies. Yes, we've got triplets. Along with that update, we have more going in the RV. We've got a lot of cleaning to do. I'm going to do some cooking. We have a grocery haul and a little more information without chit chats. So come along for the day in the life of RV living. Show you our triplets. Let's see. This is the smallest of the three. And then this one here. And where is that last cucumber? It's a bigger cucumber. There it is. There we go. Our garden has started. 3 babies. I don't think there's any more. No tomatoes, no peppers yet. The tomatoes are flowering. They flowered once already. This is second time. And haven't seen any squash. But it's been flowering for a long time. And I don't see it. Well, you see, I left a mess last night. I had Big Daddy pick up some more mason jars because we had brought back a bunch of cucumbers from the beach. And yeah. Time to clean. We're gonna get to this in a little bit. I'm going to first of all have coffee, and then I'm going to dust, mop. Oh, wait a minute. First of all, I'll be better after coffee. I'm gonna dust, I'm going to sweep, I'm gonna mop. Then I'm going to clean out the Berkey, like I've been saying for weeks on end, and the ice maker. And that is the 2 major things I want to clean. Let's get coffee. I'll be back in a little bit. Next on the list today is sorting out next week's menu so that I can order the groceries. So I work out a menu first, and then after I do that I go through each recipe and hit grocery, and then it tells me what I need. I check off what I don't have, and then I go onto the Walmart website and work with that, ordering what I need for the next week. And I'll show you the screenshot now. So here I am ordering the cheese that I need, and then I add that to the cart, and I go back to my paprika, check it off, look for the next thing on the list, go back to paprika, check it off, and keep going till I've got it all purchased, or at least in my cart. I've done a previous video on the paprika app that I use, and I will link it in the description box below, if you're interested, and it gives you a little more detail on how it works. Okay, I had purchased everything, but then when I went back to paprika, there were 3 things still on my grocery list that I didn't buy. So no worries, you can add things to your cart, within a certain amount of time. So I went back and got the 3 things that I still had listed. I went off on a tangent getting stuff for one of my grilling series things that'll be coming up, and I forgot to go back to paprika and look. So my error there, but we fixed that right here, and we're going to have an empty grocery list soon. And then Big Daddy went and picked it up after work, and I'll show you the haul later in the video. Now we're going to start with the cleaning. The first thing I'm going to do is move all these cookbooks and put them in the basket over on the floor. I'm just going to be working with one at a time, and it started to feel cluttered over there to me. And then we'll dust off the fireplace and the counters next to it, and then I'm going to get some essential oils going, and we'll see where we go from here. I also took down these lights. I had them on both slide outs at one point, and they were nice in the winter when you want it nice and cozy, but it's summertime and I just want to get them out the way. I think I might put them around the awning outside for the summer. It made me think of when I used to take the kids camping when they were little. We had a C class, and we used to go to this place called Rocks Pond, and it's in Santee. Very kid friendly. We would fish and have lots of fun. But I had friends that camped too. Anita, I know you're watching. But we would make fun lights for our awnings, and I remember one we made out of like plastic cups and turned them into a huge ball and put like Christmas lights in there to light it up. Maybe colored ones, maybe white ones. But everybody back then, I want to say it was in the 90s, it used to make all sorts of fun outdoor lights for their campers. If you guys did that or you remember that, put it in the comments below, because I haven't seen them since we've been full-time, and that's going on 8 years now. Yes, it needed a good dust. Alright. And then underneath is the diffusing oil. What did I do yesterday? I think I did rain, so we'll do fresh cotton. Let me put you back. These essential oils that I use are from Amazon. I will link them down below. They're also in my Amazon store that's in the description box. You'll find all sorts of things that we have in the camper in the Amazon store. So if you're looking for something you see, just check that out. If you don't, leave me a comment. I'd be happy to let you know where I found it. And what do we say? That's it. Say it together. There are always dishes. This has become an inside joke. I would like to take this time to welcome any new subscribers. My channel just keeps growing and growing, and I'm so glad to have you here. If you are new, my husband and I live in the RV full time. And we have been for going on 8 years now. My husband is an industrial pipe fitter and welder, and we move job to job, mostly on the East Coast because that's where our kids and grandkids are. We did some winter RVing up north when we first started, and I really enjoyed that because I've been in South Carolina for close to 40 years, and I think I've only seen snow twice up until that point. So that was a lot of fun at first, but I tell you, it gets old really quick. So now we take jobs further south, and we are currently in North Carolina. Now I'm going to get these mason jars put together with the plastic lids, which is what I prefer when I'm using them to store things in the refrigerator. I have other lids. I have these wooden ones that I'll set out if I want it on the countertop, and I save the metal lids in case I decide to do canning, which I don't think will happen. However, I don't want to throw them away. So we'll get these put away, and then we will move on to the Berkey and the ice maker. Now we're going to give the Berkey a good wash down, and I just do that with soap and water. And then I'm going to clean these filters. All you do is wipe them off. This one clean, one still to go, but they're so easy to clean. They're the European ones. Alright guys, we are moving along. We've got the Berkey drying, and I'm just dumping out the water that's in the ice maker. after I get these two things done, I am going to vacuum and mop. And I'm making a new dinner tonight, and since I'm not really recording any dinners for Menu Mondays just yet, since we're doing the grilling series, which I've got to finish. I have to edit the one for Monday. That's a good one. I think you'll like those recipes. So we're doing the cookout series for 4th of July ideas. So I have some patriotic things, and next Monday, and then the following Monday I will too. So I hope you enjoy those, and then we'll be back on our regular Menu Monday. And I know you saw me put all those books in the basket because I'm tired of them being out. I mean, it's cluttered to me, so I had to get rid of it. But I have been going to thrift stores. I got 7 or 8 cookbooks at Goodwill for like $6, and then I went on to eBay and scored a bunch of cookbooks from down south. One is an old cookbook from Charleston. It even has Gullah language, so I'm learning the lingo. And then they're from churches or schools or communities, that sort of thing, so they're good old-fashioned recipes. And some of them even have handwritten recipes in them, which is very cool. There's one book, they're all handwritten, where somebody just took a picture of all the handwritten recipes and put it in a book. So I'm excited. I know you've enjoyed the newer recipes that I've been posting. Simple, keeping it simple in the kitchen. And that's what I'm after. When I was working all the time, I didn't have time to be searching for a bunch of recipes. And plus, I was born before the internet, so this is the way I learned to find recipes, was in books. And there are a lot of good recipes online, but I really like the tried and true old traditional recipes. So that's what I've been trying out. And I'm gonna go through all these books one at a time and pick out things that catch my eye, and I hope you guys enjoy them too. And you can change them up. I mean, a recipe is just a roadmap, really, and you can take a little turn, and do it your way. Get there any way you want. I have suggestions of things that you guys would do to a recipe that are really, really clever, so please keep that going. I love that. And let me get all this set back up and put back up, and I'll be back. Now we're moving on to the sweeping and the mopping, and then we're going to get dinner going. I think you'll like this recipe. It gave me a run for my money, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. We've made it to dinner time. So I was reading the directions. It says cook the noodles according to directions. They're egg noodles. So I looked on the bag, And then it said brown ground beef and onions, so I thought, well, that'll take a while. So I cut up the onion and I'm gonna put the ground beef in here. The next ingredient was a jar of olives with the pimentos in them, and they are to be chopped. So that was my next job on the list. The meat was done, so I'm draining off the grease, and it said to melt the cheese. This is Velveeta cheese, and add milk to give it the right consistency. That's my next job. Let me back up. I had to add the cream of mushroom soup to the meat mixture along with the olives. Now I'm adding the milk to the cheese and getting that mixed up till it looks what I thought was the right consistency. Well, it turned out good. It didn't really say what the consistency was supposed to be. Again, this is from one of these older cookbooks, and they're not really very explanatory, should we say. It said to mix everything together and then add the cashew nuts on the top. I was going to leave it in this pan. It can go in the oven, just take the handle off. But I decided to use a casserole dish. Gave it a spray, put everything in there, and in my mind put the cheese on the top because that's what you do with shepherd's pie and other casseroles. So that's what I did, and then I topped it with the cashew nuts. Now I cut this recipe into a third because it called for 3 pounds of hamburger, but it's just Big Daddy and I, so I did 1 pound of hamburger and cut everything else into a third. So the original recipe said to bake it for like an hour covered and 30 minutes uncovered, but since mine was a lot smaller, I covered it for 45 minutes and uncovered for 15. It came out looking good, but then I realized I didn't put the noodles in it. Duh, what a mess up I made. But I just cooked up the noodles and then I poured everything out of the casserole dish and mixed it with my noodles because they were nice and warm, and my casserole had been sitting out for an hour and a half because Big Daddy wasn't home. He had to stop and get the groceries. So this is how I served it up. I put a little parsley on the top and it was amazing. I loved the flavor of this. I had it for lunch today too. I wasn't quite sure what to think of the olives with the pimentos when I first saw it, but I do love olives. And I'm telling you, it was so good. Big Daddy wasn't a super fan of the nuts in it, so I think next time I'll leave them out for him, but I enjoyed the nuts in there. I hope you give it a try, but I changed the directions to remind us, let's add the noodles too. Big Daddy's home, and I wanted to show you the groceries before I get them put away. Now this week I'm doing a cookout dinner on Sunday for the series, which will come out on July 1st. And the rest of this, we're really doing a week of eating out of our freezer leftovers. So a lot of this is just things to go along with those. And that's about it. It was a really small grocery haul, actually. Big Daddy's ham for lunch and so forth. And I did get some more of these Stars and Stripe plates that you've been seeing on our Sunday series. Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's day in the life of RV living. And if you made it to the end, leave me a hat emoji in the comments, and I'll see you next week.